Hello, boys and girls. We are going to continue our read alouds for today and then tomorrow, and then I'll do it Monday and Tuesday before we take a few days off for Thanksgiving break. So I'm breaking tradition again today, and I'm not reading books related to autumn or fall, but I'm reading some of my favorite books. So as we get closer next week, I'll read more books that relate to the holiday season. Okay. So, my first book is The Pout-Pout Fish and the Can't Sleep Blues. This is one of my favorite books. The series, they have all sorts of pout-pout fish, and I'm pretty sure that my girls own every one of these. So, The Pout-Pout Fish and the Can't Sleep Blues. And sometimes it's hard to sleep, especially you might be anxious right now with no school or not knowing if we're going to have school or those types of things, or you're out of a schedule, and some of you may be staying up much later than you should be. But anyway, we're going to read this. Late one quiet evening in the inky ocean deep, Mr. Fish blubbed, "Oh, I can't get to sleep." His mind was fizzy busy, and his fins were full of vim. Though he wanted to be dozing, there were zero Z's for him. I can't drop into dreamland. I can't slide into snooze. I'm wide awake. It's hard to take the can't sleep blues. A sleepy voice spoke softly. "Need some tips?" inquired Miss Clam. "Just watch and see, and soon you'll see. You'll be as drowsy as I am." Miss Clam is usually in most of his books. Smooth your seaweed bedding, then imagine fluffy sheep. Count them 1 to 20, and then presto, fall asleep. Mr. Fish took the advice, but he couldn't catch a snooze. "Miss Clam, I need more help," Miss Clam replied. Look at that little sheep. Fish says a sheep. She was already asleep. Then a sleepy voice spoke softly. "Here's an even better fix you will love," said Mr. Crab. "All my get to sleep quick tricks. Just put on purple PJs and 5 or 6 orange socks, then soothe your busy thinking on a pillow made of rocks." A pillow made of rocks doesn't feel very comfortable. Mr. Fish took the advice, but he couldn't catch a snooze. Mr. Crab, "What now?" Mr. Crab replied. Zoo. Then a sleepy voice spoke softly. "Here is what I would suggest. Guaranteed," said Mr. Eel, "to yield a pleasant night's rest. First ripple to the left, then ripple to the right, next swirl in a circle. Swoosh, swoosh, nighty night." Mr. Fish took the advice, but he couldn't catch a snooze. Mr. Eel, "What's the deal?" Mr. Eel replied. He was asleep. Then a sleepy voice spoke softly. For your slumber in the sea, here's a plan," said Miss Squid, "that always does the trick for me. Just widen out your eyes and give 4 quick tiny blinks, then slowly close your lids, automatic 40 winks." Mr. Fish took the advice, but he couldn't catch a snooze. Miss Squid, "More ideas," Miss Squid replied. She's gonna be asleep too, isn't she? Zzz. Then Mr. Fish had nothing, just a symphony of snore. He still couldn't sleep. He felt worse than before. Sometimes I get real aggravated when I'm so tired and I've tried everything and I still can't get to sleep. I took all of their suggestions, which I followed to a T. Their methods worked for them, but they did not work for me. I don't know what to do. He sank down in the kelp. What good is good advice? It does not always help. He doesn't look very happy. Then a sparkly voice emerged. "Mr. Fish, you're partly right." The voice was dear Miss Shimmers. Her smile was kind and bright. "But take what you've been given and learn what you have tried. Then build your own solution. Trust yourself as a guide." "The best advice of all," said Miss Shimmer to her friend, "is to learn what works for you and make your own special blend." With that she said good night and departed from the scene. Now Mr. Fish was ready to create his own routine. I'll settle in my spot, I'll smooth my seaweed bed, I'll smooch my snoozy snugly, then I'll clear my busy head. Some of you might have a stuffed animal you sleep with. I'll swoosh in gentle motion in the ocean wide and deep. I'll close my eyes, fins tucked in, and drift right off to sleep. Mr. Fish had tried his best to resolve his can't sleep blues. Mr. Fish, how'd it go? Mr. Fish replied, and he is asleep. So everybody has to find their own little solutions for being able to fall asleep. My girls like to go to bed and then say they're hungry and they have to go to the bathroom or they need something to eat or that they're thirsty. And sometimes we kind of go through the whole regimen. I let them watch a few minutes of TV right before they go to bed, and that kind of helps calm them down and get them ready to go to bed. So the next book, which is one of my kiddos' favorite books, is and it's a shorter book. It's There's an Alligator Under My Bed. This is a fan favorite. This has been around for over 25 years. So anyway, there's an alligator under my bed. There used to be an alligator under my bed. When it was time to go to sleep, I had to be very careful because I knew he was there. But whenever I looked, he hid or something. There he is hiding. My girls and I like to pretend there's an alligator under the bed when we read this book. And what would we do? So I'd call mom and dad. His room's kind of messy. Or your room, some of your rooms might be messy too. But they never saw it. It was up to me. I just had to do something about that alligator. So I went to the kitchen to get some alligator bait. I filled a paper bag full of things alligators like to eat. I put peanut butter sandwich, some fruit, and the last piece of pie in the garage. Those aren't necessarily things I think that alligators would eat, but we'll have to see if it works. I put cookies down the hall. I left fresh vegetables on the stairs. I put a soda and some candy next to my bed, and then I watched and waited. Sure enough, out he came to get something to eat. Then I hid in the hall closet. I followed him down the stairs. I followed him down the hall. Sorry, going a little fast. I followed him down the hall. When he crawled into the garage, I slammed the door and locked it. And then I went to bed. There wasn't even any mess to clean up. Now that there's an alligator in the garage, I wonder if my dad will have any trouble getting in his car tomorrow morning. I'll just leave him a note. And the note says, Dear Dad, there is an alligator in the garage. If you need help, wake me up. Warning, be careful. So, he got rid of the alligator under his bed, but now the alligator's in his garage. And I was thinking that this would, since this has been out for about 25 years or so, they really ought to do a sequel that there is or a follow-up story that there's an alligator in the garage. I really want to know what did dad do with the alligator in the garage? And that might be something you talk to your parents about. What do you think? What would your parents do if they found an alligator in their garage? All right, as always, I enjoy reading with you, and I hope you have a great day.